Hello! I am hoping that all of you will be able to help me with an issue that I've been having. I have been noticing that whenever I put on my foundation lately, I can really see the pores on my cheeks and kind of right along here on my forehead, into my nose, and then kind of right along here on my nose. Everywhere else seems to be perfectly fine. It's just those few areas for some reason seem to have the worst effect when my makeup's on. I have noticed that it looks fine when my foundation is on, and when I go to put on like my highlighter and my blush and my contour, it seems to be that the powder immediately kind of makes every pore I have in my face visible in that particular area. And I don't know if there's something that maybe I'm possibly doing that I'm doing wrong, or if there's another product that I should be using that I'm not. I do know that like Too Faced has a pore minimizing primer, and I think Benefits Cosmetics has one too. I right now have just been using a Smashbox primer that does tone correcting for me because I have really red cheeks and kind of a really red forehead in places, which is really strange. And so I use that as a primer, and then I've been using Urban Decay's liquid naked foundation, and I really, really love it because it's really light and it seems to cover everything, but it just seems as soon as I put all of my powders on top of that, that it doesn't seem to look all that great. And so I'm wondering if, I don't know, maybe I'm not waiting long enough to my foundation to dry, but I normally kind of walk away and do something else while I'm doing that, so I don't think it has to do with that, but I'm not positive. I was kind of wondering if maybe it's a possibility that I should be switching to a cream instead of the liquid foundation that I have, because I'm wondering if maybe that would have a better effect on my skin. And so I'm just kind of curious if that might be something that you guys would think would work better for my skin. So any suggestions you guys have would be really appreciated, because it would give me kind of an idea of where to start, or just any thoughts you might have as to the reason why it's doing that. Every now and again, I do switch up from doing a primer to just putting moisturizer on my face. And I'll do it kind of thick if my face feels like it's dry, but I always let it really set into the skin first, and then I'll apply my foundation afterwards. Instead of using just the primer, I'll use the moisturizer instead. And so that's another option that I've done, but it seems to have kind of the same result whether I use the primer or whether I use the moisturizer. It doesn't seem to make a difference on that. So I'm wondering if maybe the cream foundation might be a better option for me, or if simply just should try a different primer altogether. And that's just kind of an option that I'm not 100% sure on, so I was just kind of wondering if anybody had any thoughts before I go and try and test stuff out to see what works better. I'm gonna kind of try to show you, so I apologize if you end up, I don't know, up my nose, so I apologize. But it's mostly just, let's see if I can get that kind of just along this area. You can just really see all of my pores along there, and it goes basically the same way through this whole section up here, and it seems to almost kind of have like this weird cakey layer feel on my nose. And I know I'm doing a very, very light coat because I'm very, very careful about that. I don't like using too much foundation on my face, and so it's very possible I'm not using enough. But it's normally pretty average. I've tested it on some of my friends, and they don't think that it's too little or too much. They think it's pretty much about the right amount I would need. I always put it on the back of my hand and use my brush to apply it. I used a beauty blender previously, and again, it seems to have the same effect on either way. So any suggestions you guys would have would be really, really appreciate it. So if you could just leave some comments below for me, I would appreciate that very much. And just let me know what you guys are thinking. That might help, and I'd really appreciate it. Thank you.